One of the most common questions I get asked is, Pat, what is really the difference between a goal and a vision? Is there really one? Isn't it the same thing? If it's different, what is different? So I took time and we wrote down some notes on what is the difference between a goal and a vision. I'm going to get right into it because the reality part of it is there is a very big difference. There's a very, very big difference between a goal and a vision. Very big difference between a goal and a vision. I think the question sometimes people ought to ask is, can a goal-oriented person be as good of a visionary? Can they really be a great visionary? And can a visionary be an incredible goal setter? That's what we're going to talk about today. So first, let's talk about the difference between a goal setter and a visionary. The one thing about a goal setter is this. Goal setters have, they set a goal, and a goal typically has a lifespan, right? So for instance, I want to reach this goal by this time, and I want to do this. I want to make $100,000 by this time. I want to buy a house by this time. I want to go and drive this car one day. I want to buy myself a Porsche. Where a vision and a visionary doesn't have a lifespan. There is no deadline to it. It keeps going. There's no deadline. So it's goal, short term, vision, long term. Lifespan, no lifespan. Deadline, no deadline. It continues to go. That's one of the things that you got to keep in mind about the difference. The other thing about goal versus a mission versus a vision. A goal is a checklist. For instance, I have to do boom, 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 boom to get this, right? I have to do da 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 to reach this goal. That's what I have to do. A vision is a mission. We have to do this. This has got to take place. We can do this better. This is by far the way it needs to get done. This is the right way of doing this thing. We're going to correct an injustice. We're going to make this a better platform. We're going to make it a better experience. But in their visionary, it doesn't have 17 different steps. The goal setter says, okay, then here's what we need to do. Da, 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 da. Okay, that's goal. This is vision. Checklist, mission. Big difference between a goal and a vision. Next one. A goal setter is great at being directional, which is exactly what I just said with checklist, but it's directional. First, let's talk to that person, then let's call this person, then let's do this. Okay? That's what a goal-oriented person will say on the directions what to do next. A visionary will paint a picture is what they'll do. Let me tell you what it looks like if we do this. Here's what's going to look like. Can you imagine if one day we have pa, 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 pa? That's the visionary. Can you imagine if we do this part? Goal's going to say directional. If we want to do this, we got to talk to these other people. Then we go ahead and get it done. Here's another thing. Deadline. Goal is deadline. Visionary can't stop talking about it. You'll know if you're a goal setter more or a visionary if you only talk about the next goal to hit, and it's always what needs to get done to hit that goal, you're more of a goal setter type. If you can't help yourself but constantly paint a picture of what it will look like if we get it done, feel, emotion, all of that, you're the visionary type. And that's the one part you got to keep them up, the goal setter and the vision, right? And the last one is just simple to keep in mind. You have logic, you have dream. It's pure logic. Here's what we need to do. Here's what takes place with this. And you have the dream that takes place. Now, both are important. So a lot of times this is not a message for me to say where it's about, well, the person who sets goals is not as important as the visionary. Absolutely ludicrous to make that statement. I want to say that I'm not making that statement. One is just as important as the other one. One is just as important as the other one. This is the challenge, though, sometimes with goal setters. Here's the challenge with goal setters. Those who are typically goal-driven people tend to sometimes slow down and sabotage themselves and revert back to bad habits because they already reached the goal. So now they're bored, right? Because goal has deadlines. Goal has a short lifespan. Goal can be achieved, and then you're kind of like, well, what do I do next, right? What do I do next? You don't need to worry about that with a Musk, because Elon Musk is not a goal-driven guy. He's a vision-driven guy. You don't need to worry about that with Jobs. He's a vision-driven guy. You don't need to worry about that with Bezos or the Google guys or certain coaches that just cannot stop coaching, because it's not just about a goal. It's about a vision of what organization we can build and who we can become, and why the Yankees are the greatest organization, because we're going to change the way people look at the game of baseball, and we're going to make the world realize that baseball is the greatest sport in the world. A certain soccer athlete is going to be like the greatest sport in the world is soccer, because when you grow up with kids and all these kids growing up, the first thing you do is throw them a ball, and the ball is on the ground and it touches your feet first. To touch your hands, you got to pick it up. A ball is not meant to touch your hands. They're selling you the vision of the game of soccer, where the logical guy, the goal setter's guy is going to say, no, here's how you play the game the right way, and you got to position like this, and you got to kick like this, and when you kick, it's got to be here, and then you have to, when you do the header, it's got to be. That's the logic side. So the defense has got to be 3-4-1. That's the logical side, right? So can one go without the other? Absolutely not. So here's the thing about goal versus vision, okay? The goal setters need a visionary to team up with. The visionaries need to surround themselves with goal setters, because if one doesn't do the other, that won't become a reality. One will not become a reality without the other. There's somebody that casts the vision. There's another one that says, here's how we do it. The person who is, here's how we do it, they'll get bored. This is why it's very critical for them to always team up with a visionary. A lot of times, visionaries try so hard to become goal-setting type of people, so hard, and they'll never, ever even come this close to great goal setters. And goal setters try so hard to become visionaries, and they fail every single time. Why? Because they can talk like a visionary for one day, they can cast the vision for 2 days, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 days later, all they're talking about is what? Logic and the next goal. Makes sense? They forget that the real thing is the vision. You don't need to tell the visionary to talk about the vision. What you need to tell the visionary is, here's the next goal. What are we doing next? What do we have to do next? What do we have to do next? What's the next goal? That's what the visionary needs to be talked about, to say, in order to have the vision become a reality, what do we need to do next 6 months, next month, 12 months, 24 months? That's what they need. So even though, I want you to know this is not, sometimes people will say, well, that's why I'm the vision guy. I don't deal with the minutia. Nonsense. You're making excuses. You're justifying why you don't want to improve in an area of goal setting. I am probably not the most organized person you'll ever meet. If you look at my desk right now, it's messy. I'm not the most organized person you'll ever meet. In my mind, it's very clear on what vision I already see the movie. I've already seen the movie. I've seen the movie over and over and over again. I've explained the movie to tens of thousands of people over and over. To me, it's clear. I've already seen it. I've already seen exactly, I felt it. I felt how people reacted when we see the vision becoming a reality. I've seen the impact it makes around the world. In my mind, I've seen it. I've seen it. That's why I need a lot of help to help this vision become a reality. But I can still become a better goal setter. I can still improve on my goal setting abilities. I can still sit down and grab a paper and pen and say, what is the next goals? What are the next things that we need to do to get to this vision? Just like a goal setting person can create a reminder in their phone or all around them, maybe a vision board, to always talk about the vision. To have somebody that reminds them about the vision. To have somebody that tells them where we're going long term. To have somebody that doesn't just focus on the short term. Both people can improve. But no matter how much you improve, if you're a goal setting type, you will never be a natural visionary, as good of a natural visionary. If you're a natural visionary type of person, you will never be as organized as a goal-setting person that's directional, that knows what needs to get done next. So regardless, find them, team up together. The world is yours based on how hard you work and how long you guys can work together as a team. So, the question, the difference between a goal and a visionary, that's my thoughts. If you got any questions about it, comment on the bottom with your questions. I do get back to everybody with the questions that you guys pose. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Our goal is to get to 100,000 subs by August 31st. We've already crossed 50,000. We want to get to 100,000 by August 31st. So make sure wherever this is at, it's different on different pages on YouTube. And then if you saw this video on a complete different website, you can always come back to patrickbaydavid.com. There we go. To see all the other content that we have on patrickbaydavid.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.